Hello everyone, Dovault here, and welcome back to another episode and another review. This time, we're reviewing something that is near and dear to my heart, as I have been collecting these for years, long before I even considered making a channel. This is one of the prized figures in my collection from the Macross robotech line, which, believe it or not, is the franchise that Jetfire got his model from with the VF-1 Valkyrie. But today we are looking at the very first figure in this line I collected with the VF-31 Siegfried. Now, this review will be a little bit different than my usual ones, because I don't know if I feel comfortable transforming this figure on camera because of how expensive it was, but also just because I don't want to drop it. But yeah, so if you want a more detailed guide, I will link in the description, if anyone asks in the comments, a video to another channel where I learned how to transform these guys myself. But anyway, guys, without further ado, we will get into this review. But before we do that, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon to know when I upload stuff, and check out my main gaming channel, Dovault Gaming. It would mean a lot if you checked that out as well. Also, apologies for the long break in reviews. Life finds a way to get in the way. I'm tired, boss. Anyway, guys, I'm currently building my next review, so I figured I would do this one super quick. So anyway, here on the packaging here, we have our amazing shots of this figure, and as you can tell, it has a very Gundam-esque appearance. And here we have the jet mode with its satellite dish deployed on top, and we have the name VF-31E Siegfried. And this particular one, if we look at the awesome images here on the top, is the Chuck Mustang variant. All of the characters in the show fly their own unique variant of the VF-31, and this is from Macross DX, and this is a Bandai product. If you look at this side, we have a cool image of the robot mode up close. It looks awesome. And on this side, we have an image of one of the what's it called? Gerwalk modes, which we'll be not focusing on in this video. This is just an overview of the figure, the details, and everything it comes with. But you can do this mode if you want. And on the back, on the bottom, I mean, you have another image of the vehicle mode. Awesome. And then here you have your obligatory product shots of everything this can do. As you can see, you have this super sleek jet here with a deployable satellite dish. And yes, the jet is that clean. One thing I will mention with the Macross Robotech franchise and their Bandai figures is that they are the best of any brand when it comes to transforming jets. They have no kibble in either mode, and the jet literally changes shape to make the robot. There is no extra parts or kibble to be had on these guys, which is one of the reasons they are so premium and so pricey. I won't mention the price in this video, but I'm sure if you look up Bandai DX Macross on a website like Big Bad Toy Store, you'll see. So anyway, you have the picture of the jet mode here. You have some amazing posed pictures of the robot, or Batroid mode as it is called, here on the back with its radar dish deployed. Also, just a note, I am filming this backwards. I did the robot mode first, so I may mention that all of these guys have a different transforming weapon that folds up into the jet mode. In this one is the satellite dish. And then here you have the halfway mode with the Gerwalk mode, which is literally just the jet mode with the legs and arms deployed. But it's, I always thought it was a silly mode, but in the show it's used for like maneuverability and stuff. But anyway, without further ado, let's check out what comes in the box here. So, opening these guys, especially with the VF-31 line, is always a treat, because you get this nice opening flap here. And inside you have this nice schematic display of the fighter that says remove before flight. with the name and everything printed nicely in the ship's color. But then you slide this out, and you have your fighter beautifully displayed in the box. And yes, these are quite big. This guy is about the size of movie masterpiece Starscream, if you want a good idea of scale. Now, if you remove the plastic clamshell piece here, you can go ahead and grab the figure, but first, under this little compartment here, we have your accessory packet. You get a bunch of fixed posed hands, if that is what you're into. You get the co-pilot figure, as well as the main figure, which I do have in the cockpit already. You get some optional add-on stickers, if you want. Actually, these aren't stickers, nope. Those are actually the drones this can launch. Those are just little decorative accessories. You have some fold-away knives for the robot mode if you want to do that. But those are the main accessories. Now, before we look at the figure, we have one more tray down below here. You also get an included full-on flight stand. All of the figures in this line include their own flight stand, as well as your instruction booklet, which is in full color. But I actually recommend checking out the guides by Scorched Earth Toys. He goes in the greatest detail, and he is how I learned to do these transformations. Alright, so let's take a quick look at this display base here. And you get, of course, the base itself, which you can see is covered in dust because it's been on my shelf. And I may mention this in the robot section as well. I might forget to cut it out, but here's how you assemble the base. If you want for the jet mode, you just attach this one here. Then you pop on this, and your jet will rest nicely on there. And if you want to display it in its Batroid or robot mode, you would just flip it vertically like so. And you get this part here, which attaches onto the top, and that will allow you to display the robot mode. This attaches just underneath the hips. And you also get one more adapter if you want to display it in the Gerwalk mode. I believe this one can attach in either the standing position or the flying position. It's up to you which one you want to do. But yeah, that is the display base. They all come with this pretty much standard display base, and they all have their own adapters for each individual fighter. So you always have your nice little display options. Now, for the figure itself, we're just going to reach in here, and it is just sitting nicely on this nice styrofoam cutout. And that is that high-grade styrofoam, by the way. And here you have your jet, the VF-31E. And as you can see, this is a super beautiful, sleek jet done in white, gray, and this awesome orange. Got this nice orange detail on the cockpit here, if my camera will focus. There we go. With some red crystal detail there. I believe in the series, these crystals, including these purple ones here, are what allows it to go through warp space, because these are space fighters. Coming back to here, you have the nice jet thrusters, and you can kind of tell that these are going to be the legs. I really like how they fuse the thrusters into the body. Fuse the legs into the body to make these really nice thruster details. You have these articulated rear fins here, and the wings can fold away for landing if you want them to. The cockpit does in fact open. You just slide it up on a sliding hinge and then lift it up, and you got your tiny little pilot figure in there. This is supposed to be your Chuck Mustang. I don't know if the camera will focus on him. Yeah, but he's just a little guy. And behind him, you even have a removable section, which if you take it out, has another seat you can fold back, camera focus, to have the co-pilot in there if you so wish. I tend to leave one of them in the packaging just in case I lose one because they're so small. But in case I didn't mention, these are 1/60 scale figures, which is my favorite scale size, especially for large figures. Now, besides the cockpit, you also have... Here, you have these sliding doors that can lift up and slide forward, and these can be either exhaust vents, but in the show, these are where they launch their hologram drones, which they use to display their concerts. I'm not joking. In this series, the technology is powered by music. There's also zombies and space elves. It is so weird. It is like if you took Warhammer 40k but made it really happy. Well, kind of. People still die. But anyway, you can also, if you want, articulate these up and slide them all the way forward to really open those up as you want, and they close up nice and flush when you don't want them. Now, to look at my favorite part of the figure, this super clean, beautiful underside where the panel lining looks amazing. So as you can see, it is a super sleek jet with no robot kibble on the underside. This is something Hasbro has never gotten right with their figures, which is why I love Macross figures. As you can see, the wings are super low profile, and you can't believe it, but the arms are actually in here. This is the hand. It is just super nice how these panels line up. You even have hard points for some of the weapon accessory sets you can acquire. Here, underneath, you also have your fold-out landing gear. You just slide those out, flip them back, and rotate the wheel if you want to land, like so. I think I have mine pre-rotated. And that's the rear landing gear. Then here at the back, you have your nice thruster, and as you can tell, there is die cast here where that will be the feet later, which is super nice. It gives it a nice base to stand on. You have these little antennae here that are articulated. You can lift them up. You can flip them forward to be guns if you wanted to. And here at the front, I almost forgot to mention, you also do have front landing gear. If I can get my nail in there. There was a way to do, there we go. Move the nose cone out of the way. That kind of makes it easier to grab these panels. But anyway, you just open up these panels here. And you also have some really sturdy die-cast landing gear. By the way, all the landing gear is die-cast. And this will firmly snap into place. Oh, did that wrong. But anyway, and you also have a little tow hitch here, if you wanted to. Anyway, hopefully I did not just break something. My bad. Anyway, but yeah, this is the jet mode. Now, one more little play feature. I usually only do this in the robot mode, but you do have the fold-out satellite dish, which can be a little tricky to get out. Sometimes it might help if you unpeg the thrusters, which will be the legs later, and just fold the knee forward. That sometimes frees up enough space for you to get the clearance to get the weapon out. Let me put the leg back, repeg everything back in. Oh, come on. Boop. There we go. And then what you're gonna do from here is you're going to open up the sides of this here, and they are going to push down and kind of soft snap into place. Then you take these and you're going to straighten them out, flip them down, and you can kind of see where this is going. You then bring them together so that this middle panel slides into the ridge here. I'm going to try to do this with one hand and probably fail. Oh, I didn't do too bad, actually. Boop. And there you have his radar dish slash dance platform. Yep, I'm serious. Music power. Anyway, but yeah, this is the amazing VF-31E in its vehicle mode, and this thing is premium, but I will say very delicate. This is a model first and foremost, more than it is a toy. This is for collectors. Now, without further ado, I'm going to go transform this guy, and we will come back and look at its amazing robot, or as they call it in the show, Batroid mode. I will see you there. Alright guys, and here we have the amazing VF-31E Valkyrie Siegfried in his awesome robot, or as they say in the show and the series, Batroid mode. And as you can tell, it is an amazing Gundam-esque figure, and it is crazy to believe that that super sleek, completely Kibble-less jet turned into this amazing guy. So let's take a quick look at the head sculpt here. Also, sorry about the lighting. For some reason, my camera's ISO has gotten like super weird. But anyway, here we have our figure here. And let's take a close look at that head sculpt here. And as you can see, he's got this nice green and blue transparent optical lens there, with a little bit of a sonar or a radar array on his head. And these antennas are also, I believe, meant to be guns here that can point forward. Although they are very small, so be careful with them. And he's got this amazing orange panel-lined detail on the top of the figure, with these nice pearlescent green decals on top. He's got the purple crystals here, which in the show are the warp crystals that allow these things to do space travel. Some of the vehicle kibble becomes the shoulder panels here with these canards, I believe they're called, with his unit number on the side. Nice shielded arm with some good, cool detailing, and these nice arm-mounted blasters as his default weapons. The jet thrusters, as you can see, became the legs, and he is a very leggy boy. And as I mentioned before I transformed him, there is die-cast in what is now his feet, so he stands super sturdy. Of course, the back cleans up super nicely with these nice functional wings back here, and his awesome satellite dish here on top. And in case I forgot to mention it in the jet portion, each of these has from the VF-31 line, has a different weapon that collapses into their vehicle mode. Some of them have like turrets, guns, one of them even has giant speakers. This one, of course, has a satellite dish, which, strangely enough in the show, is also a dance platform. Music-powered jets is a thing, apparently. Anyway, and back here, those launchable drones, or exhaust vents, depending on how you want to treat these things, are also carried over to the back of the legs here. Sorry if my camera's struggling to focus. But yeah, just overall, the jet detail transforms perfectly into this robot, and it's literally the exact same details. Nothing in this robot is actually new from the vehicle mode. It just translates perfectly from vehicle to robot, and that is one of the reasons I love this line. I will say Macross is the best, as I've said, when it comes to transforming jets into robots seamlessly with no kibble, even if the transformations are very delicate, because these are high-end collectible models, not just playable figures. These are meant to transform and back and forth and display. But despite being just display models, in fact, reinforcing that, they do have amazing articulation. So, in addition to a ball-jointed head that can look down very far, like he can look straight into his own chest, he can look up very far as well due to this triple hinged neck as well. He can do a full 360. Nice little detailing on the back of the head there, by the way. I believe that's supposed to be where the pilot is during robot mode. Of course, he's got the articulated antennas. This back dish back here, it can, of course, rotate a full 360. It is on a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple hinge, so you can kind of position that up against his back however you want. You could just give him a back dish, or you could even put this thing over his head and give him a sombrero. Because why not? That's a thing you can do. Display it however you want. Of course, the wings still can be folded out like so if you want to give him some full-on wings there as well. And these back fins can come out as well. And also these wings can angle back, just like they could when you were transforming it. The shoulders are on an up and down joint here. They can also rotate a full 360 if the backpack is moved out of the way. He also has another shoulder joint up here. Underneath the canard, he has a shoulder joint here. He also has the shoulder joint above that on the orange bit there as well. So he has a triple jointed shoulder. His bicep can swivel a full 360. He can also double bend the elbow past 90. And if you finagle that, you can probably get a full 180 on that as well. He can also rotate at the lower bicep as well if you get the shield out of the way. But yeah, you can kind of see how that rotates. That also rotates there. His wrist can move forward and back, and it is on a ball joint, so you can full 360 the hand as well. The thumb is fully articulated. Well, not fully articulated, but it is on a ball joint, so you can bring it in. You can kind of point it however you want. And the fingers are on a single joint for the pointer and a double joint for the remaining 3 fingers there. Camera, focus. I said focus, boy. There we go. He does have very small hands. Anyway, and the blaster can rotate a full 360 and go behind his back if you wanted it to. His waist is on a swivel that can technically go a full 360 if you move some of these parts out of the way. But just a heads up, this panel here, his crotch panel, can come off, but it just slides right back in. It's on a sliding peg, kind of. It can also be moved up and down, however you wish. He does have a slight ab crunch, but the nose cone does kind of get in the way, but you can technically lean him back the opposite direction if you wanted to do that. His legs are on a ratcheted hip joint that can go all the way back and all the way forward. He has a relatively good swivel here at the thigh, so very poseable there. He has a, if I can kind of see it here, he has a knee that can bend real far back. I think it can go just past 90 if you straighten the leg out. He has another knee above the knee swivel here as well. These can move up and down, slide up and down as well. These can also slide forward, slide down back here. And the ankles can move in pretty much any direction with universal ankles. The heel can move up and down, and the toe can move up and down and swivel side to side. So he is very articulatable. Not to mention, you can lengthen and shorten the legs, kind of whatever your preference is as well. So he is incredibly poseable. I like to treat this guy like a comms officer, so I always have him like doing like a communications pose, since he doesn't have any of the heavy weaponry of the other variants. But yeah, he's just amazingly articulated, great for posing, and as I mentioned before, he does come with a display stand. But yeah, amazing figure and highly, very expensive, very expensive. Now, these are clearly not meant for play, these are meant for display. And of course, they are still pretty fun to transform back and forth. Now, this is actually the first one in this line I had collected. I've actually collected quite a few of these, almost one of every single airframe, and they look great together. So I plan on reviewing more of them on this channel with these brief overview style videos, so it'd mean a lot if you would check those out in the future. For example, I don't have him in a cool pose right now, but here is the VF-25. This was the first US release of this toy line, and this is actually based on the VF-25 Valkyrie, which is based on the VF-1 Valkyrie, which is where Jetfire from Transformers got his model from. This is the newer version of that mold, and I might review the Jetfire version in the future. I do have him, but this was the first US release of this line. But anyway, guys, this has been my brief overview of a line I have been collecting for years and saving up for 4 years, long before I even considered making this channel, with the Bandai Macross DX VF-31E Siegfried and the Macross / Robotech series of figures. I will be doing more of these in the future, but first I have an upcoming Gundam review that I am currently building for you guys, and I hope you will check that out as soon as it is available. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been my brief overview of VF-31 Siegfried from Macross and Robotech, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you do want a detailed transformation guide, just leave a comment below and I will link you to the Scorched Earth Toys transformation guide for this. That is where I learned to transform these guys, and he deserves some attention as well. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next review. This has been Dovalt. Bye-bye!